exciting that I'm sure you would love, especially if you are a theater lover. We are here with the director of a play called Succession here at the Star Center Theater at 11 Northeast 23rd Avenue in Gainesville, Florida. The performances will be August 1st through the 10th with a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday matinee. Here today is the director of Succession, Mr. Kevin Mack, no stranger to the theater at all. So thank you, sir, for one, your work with the theater, two, with the work at the Star Center Theater and with the cast of Succession, and for having this interview on today.
Thank you for having me.
Could you, one, start with telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a native Philadelphian. I was trained originally at Freedom Theater in Philadelphia, and I also received some additional training through the Philadelphia Drama Guild, the Philadelphia Playwrights Association, Western Maryland University, and wherever I've needed to pick up training and experience.
Well, tell us about the show, or this show called Succession.
Succession is a play about Marcus Chandler, who is a very accomplished and charismatic actor who has been a star in the confines of black theater for the past 20 years. He begins to mentor a young man named Steve, and Steve has ambitions that go beyond what anyone was thinking. And so as it begins to develop and begin to uncover what his realizations are, he harms a lot of people because his ambition to be the man and unseat Marcus and anyone else in his way, it creates a lot of hard feelings and damages him in the long run. It's a cautionary tale about blind ambition, allowing your desires to get ahead of what you know to be right and correct, and at any cost, not fearing who you may hurt or trample in the process.
Interesting. What was your first encounter with this play and the playwright, if you've had it?
I've never met the playwright. My first encounter was last year. Rhonda Wilson, the artistic director, had sent me the play to read and get my thoughts on it. And I read it and I was instantly taken, with the play because it's a often repeated and rarely talked about theme, throughout particularly the black theater community. There are many tales of people who have stabbed others in the back in their quest to climb the ladder, as it were. Oftentimes not realizing it's just a joy of luck. Being in the right place at the right time and kissing the right rings.
Indeed.
To get up there. And there are very few people that make it of their own volition, but you never win just taking advantage of others, and that's the point. All of the characters in Succession are characters that, if you have any familiarity with theater, you know who these people are, because you've met them in many cities and theaters and different situations. you've seen them time and time again.
Indeed. This is the regional premiere of Succession, correct?
Yes.
How does that make you feel, and how did it drive your decision making about its presentation?
Well, I'm excited about doing the regional premiere.
Yeah, explain what does that actually mean?
Okay, what that means is this play hasn't been done in this part of the country at all. You know, it's the first time of its unveiling, and so you know you try to find things that are unique to the locale, you know, in terms of the characters, the way they talk, and you know, their actions and movements, and even their motivations, because people are different in New York or Philadelphia as opposed to Georgia or Florida or Texas, you know, and it's all unique, and you have to put some original flavor to it to make the characters relatable to the audience that's coming to see them.
Indeed. Off the cuff question, you've worked in theater quite a while and in lots of different places and spaces. How would you compare them in like the different regions?
It depends. When you're talking about community theater, you know, that's one level. Professional theater is another. We're in the process of raising the level of community theater, you know, in the South, challenging actors, you know, to be unafraid. You know, that's the most important thing, to be fearless but in control when they're on stage. You know, oftentimes people are afraid to give the characters everything that they need because they don't want to be disliked by people. And their challenge is to give the character everything it needs to be true, so that the audience can, good, bad, or different, say, I know that person, I understand that person, even if they don't agree with what they're doing. You know, you have to give a three-dimensional character on stage, and many times we stop at trying to give two-dimensional characters, you know, because we want to be liked at the end of the day, you know. And for me personally, my biggest thrill on stage was to present a character that people after the show came up to me and said, I hate you. You know, and that was the sign that I did a good job, because I gave the character everything it needs, and that's the challenge.
Oh, well, again, thank you for taking on the task of being director of Succession or any play, indeed, because it can be challenging, because you do have to pay the cost to be the boss.
Yeah.
And thank you for working with the Star Center Theater and this cast.